Okay, so let's take a look at how to open Lightroom, import some photos from an SD card or any other external device, get them into Lightroom, make a couple of quick changes, and then we're even going to look at how to export them out of Lightroom. So, the first thing that we want to do is let's start Lightroom, and there's a couple of different ways that we can do that. The easiest way for you is to click on your Adobe Creative Cloud icon up here at the top of the screen and just go down to Lightroom and click Open. That ensures that you're always opening the latest version of Lightroom. And so we'll give it a second to let it open. And it may take it a couple of minutes, but once it's opened up, you'll see that you're in your library. And if we just pay attention to the top of the screen, I went ahead and named this one Wildflowers Lightroom Library. That way it's very easy to identify it. And if you look on the left side, as you're already familiar with, you'll see the Toshiba Photos folder indexed in here. And you'll see all of the subfolders that you've created as well as the number of pictures in each. So let's say that we want to import something from an SD card or whatever it may be. And we want to go ahead and click the import button in the lower left corner. And that's going to bring up the import dialog window. And what we want to do is look on the left side is our source. In other words, where are we going to get our pictures from, which devices? And the right side is our destination. Where are we going to put them and what are we going to do with them? So on the left side, our source in this example is going to be the Cruiser drive. It should show whatever's on that particular drive. And in this case, there's one JPEG there. And notice it goes ahead and gives us a check mark. That means that that picture has not been imported before, and so Lightroom will go ahead and import it now. And what we want to do is we're going to kind of work down our list here. All right. We want to look at file handling. Okay, and so we're just going to kind of go down the list and just show you. We're going to leave pretty much everything alone. We're going to see right here where it says don't import suspected duplicates. What that means is if Lightroom looks at a picture and sees that you've imported it before, it won't prompt you to import it again. We're going to leave the make a second copy unchecked because we're not worried about making duplicate copies of anything. We're using Carbon Copy Cloner to do the backups. You're not worried about adding to collections during the import process. I'm going to go on down just to show you. We're going to look at file renaming. Again, during the import process, we're not worried about renaming files or anything, but just to show you. And we're not worried about pre-applying any development settings or metadata or even keywords during the import process. You're going to do that later on as you develop the pictures. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and just cascade these back. But again, that was just to show you. And so one of the things that we do want to pay attention to is the destination. All right, so if you don't see destination down here, click the triangle if it's not already there. And you should see a list. These are the destination for Lightroom to place that or copy that picture. And so our destination is going to be the Toshiba external drive. All right, and then we want to figure out what folder we want to put it in. Okay. And so I'm going to put this one in Rex's folder. And there's another important thing we want to look at here is let's put it in a subfolder. So what's going to happen is Lightroom's going to put it in this folder and automatically create a subfolder under Rex's folder and put this or all the pictures that might be on the card in there. And we can give it a subfolder name right here and tell Lightroom go ahead and create that subfolder for me. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, hey, let's call this one 2015-11-20 in our example. All right. And we're going to go ahead and say import. And we give it just a second. And again, took only a couple of seconds. As a matter of fact, it was so fast, didn't really see the progress bar here. If it were several pictures, it may take a few seconds. But notice now, in this 2015-11-20 folder, we have imported a copy into Lightroom. And it's important to note, the original copy, or the original JPEG, is still on that cruiser drive. We imported an exact copy into the Rex's folder and told Lightroom to create a subfolder, in our example 2015-11-20. And there it is. Now we're ready to actually click into this and do some cropping, adjust color, move on over here and do title, caption. Of course, we can also do keywording, so on and so forth. If I select Toshiba Photos up here at the top, it's going to show me all 23,381 photos. That's all the photos that are in all of these folders and subfolders here. So let's work with some of the photos that I just brought in. And let's go in here, and I'm going to click on this particular one. And I can go ahead and add some keywords in here. So I'm just going to select your keyword suggestions. These are based on ones that you've already done. You could, of course, type them in here separated by commas. And you can also save a keyword set if they're going to be frequently used for different things. If you rename the file name, I'm going to strongly suggest that you leave the number value in it. That gives it a fairly unique serial number. And you can always append to the front. So in this, I'm going to call this Rex Import. And then once I click off of it, Lightroom actually renames that file. And again, in the file name, you want to only use a dash or an underscore as a good rule of thumb. And then you can move down into your copy name fields or your title and caption and add whatever other information you want that will actually be embedded into the photo itself. And so that's how we would go in and keyword and prepare a photo. Now, you could go in and hit develop, and for instance, if you wanted to crop the photo, let's choose the cropping tool. And just for an example, we'll bring that down just a touch, bring that corner in just a touch. We hit done, and now we've cropped it. And let's bring our exposure up just a little. And let's oversaturate it just a little for this example. Okay, so we made some changes to that picture. And if we go back out to the library, and let's go back to grid view, notice the changes are made to the photo. Now, just to prove a point, I'm going to open this up in Finder, this one picture. So I'm going to right click it and open in Finder. And notice the original is still there untouched. Notice the difference in the cropping here versus here. Okay. Again, Lightroom does not touch your photo.